Welcome to this video blog, which is going to complement the written blog that you should be able to read through while we talk about this. So first of all, why do most traders fail? Well, starting at the top, lack of knowledge. As with other professional activities, we should often think of it. It makes more sense to approach trading as it's a learnable skill, absolutely a learnable skill, but it should be thought of as something similar to learning a new language or a musical instrument or taking up a professional sport. There is some effort and concentration involved, and it takes a bit of time. It almost never lands in anyone's laps, and so that shouldn't be the case. And to make things more complicated, there is a lot of information out there which, if anything, just muddies the water. So we do try to keep things very simple, making sure that you're aware of the stuff that you really need to know, as opposed to trying to confuse you and make it even worse. Then, of course, there's trader psychology. So if you think about it, our hopes and dreams are at least subconsciously attached to our income, because, of course, the idea that we might be able to earn a lot more income suddenly changes the way we might live our lives. And so that is unconsciously attached to it. And so that puts a lot of pressure on us, and so it can also change our behavior. It changes our decision-making process as well. So trader psychology is a very, very important aspect that is really only discovered at the start of the journey and never really spoken about outside of trading. So of course, as I said, the fear of losing money is a big component of it, and fears of making a mistake, and we tend to then impose too much importance on the successes and failures as we go. So next up is poor risk management. Humans are actually inherently bad at identifying risk. Really, unless something is at our doorstep, we don't necessarily take action to mitigate it or reduce it or do something with it. And so, I mean, a great example is global climate change, or just, although we're aware sort of on one level that the things we do here are impacting countries around the world or vice versa, we just don't see an immediate connection. So we're just quite bad at risk management. And so it doesn't come naturally to us, but it is incredibly crucial to success in trading. And so we have to learn how to do something that isn't necessarily natural to us. And of course, if we risk too much on our account, it can just change the outcome of our journey. And basically, we can sabotage ourselves before we even get started. When you think about it, we're going to make most of our mistakes at the beginning when we know the least, or we have the least amount of experience. So what we need to do is take a relatively sensible approach to be much more cautious in the beginning until we gain more experience. Then, of course, there's unrealistic expectations. And again, this is very much the fault of there being so much content out there and heavy sales-driven programs. This is definitely a learnable skill, but we need to have a sense of the amount of effort. And, of course, I mean, in defense of new traders, is how are we going to know, whether we're attending the right kind of program before? And all I mean by that is there's so much information out there, it's very difficult to determine that. So, but we do need to have a sense also of the kind of growth we can get on our accounts and what's reasonable to expect that. And definitely this is a way, once you've mastered it, to earn a secondary or primary income from the markets in ways in which people can earn income from doing other activities other than their day jobs. And but what we need to do is have a sense of what really is achievable. And finally, trading using the wrong strategy. So selecting a trading strategy to suit our personality is often obviously overlooked by traders. They're not aware of it. We wouldn't necessarily be aware that we're using the right or an appropriate strategy, but strategies must have a proven track record. They should give us a definite entry, stop loss, and take profit. And there is no such thing as the Holy Grail. There is no such thing as a strategy that can never fail, and it doesn't work that way. Usually what we actually need to do is go the opposite. It isn't about changing strategies all the time. It's actually about mastering a single strategy, and part of that, of course, is mastering technical analysis so that we can apply our strategy to the appropriate trading conditions that give us our edge. Now, one last thing, I want to remind you to click on the bell and the subscribe options below. Make sure that you are kept in the loop with all of these upcoming videos, and of course, as we cover a wide range of very important topics related to trading.